Hello and welcome back to the Single Player Report podcast. I'm your host, Jarvey Rocks. That's why we are back. We're making a new episode. I got my new computer. We are back again. We got a new podcast episode and I got a lot of shit to talk about. Now, I'm going to talk about a lot of news stories that came out recently. But at the very end, I'll be reviewing two new movies. So at the very end of this podcast, I'll have two new movie reviews. I have the first movie review will be the Odyssey, and then the next one, the last thing I ever talk about in this whole video, is the movie review for Evil Dead Burn. But I will be doing a review for the Odyssey first, and then Evil Dead Burn. But before those movie reviews, I'm going to talk about a bunch of news stories that happened. That's right, we have a bunch of news stories. A bunch of stuff happened, I got my thoughts on it, and I want to talk about it. And some of it's old news, some of it is very old news. But I was on hold because I was trying to upload a lot of older content onto my main channel. And those are finally been uploaded. And if you missed my update video, basically I am going to kind of space out the uploads from now on. So those last couple of videos I uploaded were just there to kind of get them out of the way. I wanted them out of the way to be uploaded and stuff. But now we're back and the schedule is going to be, I'm going to upload them. I'm going to upload like 2 videos a week at least. So, yes, let's get into the news story. Let's talk about some news. And the first story, as you can obviously see, is Avengers Doomsday trailer finally released. And some people were absolutely excited for it. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, this looks awesome, this looks cool. And I will admit, there were some moments in this trailer that I was like, that looks awesome. I love this element with the X-Men. We got Professor Xavier. We got a segment with, where is it? Is it going to show? We do see Magneto from the original. There we go. We see Magneto from the original movies. Professor Xavier and Magneto together from the original movies. We get shots of Fantastic Four in here, being Fantastic Four from the recent movie, and then we got X-Men, and it's the original cast from the original Fox movies. It's like the original movies. It isn't the first class cast. It is the original 2000s X-Men. And the one thing I can say is they're fucking finally in yellow spandex. Kinda. They're in like blue and yellow. But oh my god, they're finally fucking wearing the X-Men costumes. Holy shit, it took them fucking long. It took them so long to do this. Like, holy shit. You remember in the fucking 2000 movie where Wolverine goes, oh, we gotta wear this? And then Cyclops, he goes, well, it's better than yellow spandex. Would you rather be wearing yellow spandex? Fuck you. I love those movies, by the way. I love them. But that fucking line always pissed me off. And now, And I love when the X-Men animated show made fun of that. That was fucking amazing. Would you rather be wearing black leather? Oh shit, X-Men 97, hell yeah, that's so cool. But now we are getting it, and not even like you even see Channing Tatum is he's finally playing this. I mean, he's played it in Deadpool and Wolverine, but now he's in an actual he's like in a more serious role, I guess. I don't know. He's finally playing a Gambit, and that's cool. That's awesome. Mystique. Mystique looks comic accurate. Oh my gosh. Hell yeah, clapping. I'm a fan. That is awesome. So now the fanboying is completely out of the way. What was my entire thought process for this trailer? I thought it was okay. Yeah, no, I was very hyping up, like, oh my god, and I was trying to make you think that I was super hyped for this trailer, but in reality, I felt nothing watching this trailer. I felt absolutely nothing watching this trailer. There was no stakes to me. There was nothing. I know that none of these characters are going to die, and if you see characters die, it's going to be the ones that already fucking were gone in the series. Captain America, he returns in this trailer, even though we already saw that reveal. We already had a teaser reveal in that, so it's not a big surprising moment like, oh my gosh, Steve is back. Oh my gosh. I had no hype for this trailer. Everything I've heard about this movie has made me completely just been like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Finding out Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Doctor Doom, I don't give a shit. I think that's a terrible decision. Not because I think Robert Downey Jr. is a bad actor or can't play a good villain. He fucking could create a great villain. But I know what they're going to do in the story. I know what is the big reveal of why Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. And yes, I've heard already that he only wears the mask for the entire movie. I don't believe that for a fucking second. I do believe he only has like a couple of footage where he's actually in the costume. I do believe that is true, and most of his on studio recording was just audio for the whole movie. I do believe that. But I also very much have a feeling it's going to be at the end of the reveal. He's going to take off the mask, and he's going to look like Tony Stark because it's Robert Downey Jr. And Spider-Man's going to be like, Tony? And he's going to be like, I'm not Tony. I'm Dr. Doom. I'm Victor Doom, motherfucker. And Peter Parker is going to have this dynamic with him about how he looks like Tony, and I don't like that at all. I want it to be Richard and Doom. I don't want it to be Peter Parker and Doom. I hope it's not that. But I very much believe it's going to be that. I believe this Doctor Doom is going to be a Tony Stark variant, and I'm just not excited for it. I truly not. In this trailer, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I was not excited for it. I truly just didn't care. This trailer happened. A lot of the scenes look cool. Like, I will say, I love that the X-Men is finally in the movie and they have their outfits, their comic accurate outfits. I love that the X-Men is comic accurate. Every character I've seen is comic accurate. I love that. But I also just don't give a shit. I truly don't. Because so far, it just, there's nothing exciting and there's no stakes, and that's the problem with comic books and as a whole. I love comic books. I love comic book stories, but the reason why I have never fully been truly I'm invested in comics. I'm invested in solo stories in comics. I love the Spider-Man solo stories. I love that they're not connected with other stories. My favorite Spider-Man comics, my favorite Batman comics, my favorite Superman comics are the ones that are self-contained stories that you can just pick up and read from beginning to end without having to watch other shit beforehand. And what really hurt the comic industry, because a lot of people don't realize this, because people think the comics now is just movies. The comic industry as a whole, the actual just comic industry, not the movie industry, the comic industry has been dying for years. No one wants to buy comics anymore, and the reason why no one wants to buy comics anymore is because of the fucking interconnected stories, how heroes would die over and over, but then just come back to life in like the next couple issues. After a while, the stakes just kind of fell apart, and the reason the comics I love the most are the ones that are self-contained stories. I love those the most. I truly do not give a shit about like reading from the very early parts of history, of comic history, to later. I will read them. I'm not saying I don't, but like, I'm not saying I don't at all. I have done that. I have read histories of comic. I read the first histories of Spawn comic books. I love Spawn. I love diving into the history of comics. I love reading earlier comics as well. But the ones I have the most like connections with, the most like love for, are the comic stories that are self-contained. They have their own beginning, middle, and end, and they don't really connect with previous things in the past. And if they do, it's kind of really minor. It doesn't really affect the main story, and it's mostly stuff that if you're already a big fan of the series, you're gonna really understand. Like the Red Hood storyline, the Red Hood the comic, into the Red Hood or something like that. That's a great. I can't remember the name, but that's the great story, and it very much relies on the death of Jason Todd. But the comic kind of explains that as well, and then when it's revealed who Red Hood is, it's like, holy shit, that's awesome. I just, I don't know. I'm excited for superhero movies. I'm still excited for them. I'm excited for the Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day. That movie looks amazing, and I cannot wait to watch it. It looks so good. I'm just not. I'm just not excited for this. I will watch it, hopefully with my friends. I will watch it, but I'm not hyped for it. I'm not excited for it, and I just don't care at this moment in time. Is it superhero fatigue? No. As I said, I'm still excited for Spider-Man, Brand New Day. I'm still excited for DC movies. I'm still excited for the next Batman Part 2. I'm still excited for the next superhero movie. I do the next like DC movie, the like James Gunn's Batman stuff. I'm excited for that. I just, this movie Doomsday, I think is very much going to fall apart. I think it's not going to be good. I think it's just not going to be great. I truly have no real interest with it, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of do think Marvel should have stopped with the big interconnected story after Tony died. I think they should have just stopped with the interconnected stories and just had more self-contained stories instead of like, oh, here's the movie that ties into Avengers Doomsday. Like, Fantastic Four very much ties into Avengers Doomsday. Deadpool and Wolverine does not. And I love Deadpool and Wolverine. I truly do believe Spider-Man Brand New Day won't really tie into Avengers Doomsday. I don't think it really will. At least not in the story compartment. I think very much it will probably tie it in at the very end in a post-credit scene. But I'm just not interested in Avengers Doomsday. And I know people are excited for it, and I'm happy that you're excited for this. I truly am happy that you are super excited for this, and you cannot wait for this movie. I've seen reactions where people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool," and I was just the entire time just like, I have no care. I have no interest for this. I have no reason to go see this. And I'm fine with that. I'm gonna be honest, I'm fine with that. I don't have any excitement for Avengers Doomsday. I'm fine with that. I think the Doctor Doom storyline is gonna suck ass. And I think they're gonna ruin the Doomsday character. I do think that. And I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested. So we're gonna move on to our next story, which 13 minutes. That's interesting. Our next story, which I'm gonna move one a little bit closer where it is. Here it is. So I'm not gonna do that one yet. But Kevin Feige feels like a gigantic loser and failure over Doom Blade reboot. So this is the video article. It looks like, not the actual article. But basically the gist of it is Kevin Feige was doing an interview, and they brought up the Blade reboot, and he truly just feels like he's just failed. He feels like a gigantic loser, as he says, and a failure because he was not able to get this Blade reboot to happen. It got canceled, and it says to be announced, but it's been canceled. Like, they haven't really said it's canceled, but basically how they say is that, yeah, it's been canceled. And I do believe they're still going to try to see if they can bring it back, but so far, at this moment in time, it has been kind of put on hold and canceled. But, yeah, it does suck because Blade is a very interesting character, but I think the reason why it never got released or made is because I don't think they know how to do a Blade reboot. I think that Marvel very much loves doing PG-13 stuff. They very much love doing PG-13 movies and shows, and they don't really like doing anything that's rated R. Deadpool and Wolverine is the exception because I think that's more of a goofy, fun little rated R thing, and because it's a Deadpool was very successful, they're like, okay, yeah, fine, we'll do that. We'll give that exception, but Deadpool is the only exception. I don't think we're gonna ever really see Blade, and if we do, it's gonna be very watered down. And honestly, I'm fine with them not making something new Blade. Only thing I really want that's Blade related to be released is the video game, the Arcane Studios video game, and I hope that studio can figure out what to do with the whole Xbox, because they still haven't confirmed if they're closing down Arcane Studios or selling Arcane Studios. They have not confirmed that yet, but Xbox is still planning to do more layoffs. So yeah, there's a chance either Arcane Studio gets their team laid off, or they don't make they sell the studio. Apparently this was from Happy Sad Confused with Josh. I don't know how to say his last name. That's the name of the show podcast, from where Kevin Feige said all this. I would love Blade to return. I would very much love Blade to return. I love the Blade character, but it would have to be an actual horror movie. It would have to be a full-on R-rated horror movie, and which this says R-rated, but I think that's the reason why they couldn't get into it. They couldn't figure it out. And him saying I'm a gigantic loser and failure very much confirms that they're not saying it, but it is canceled. I'm just like, oh man, I really want Blade Return, but let's hope to do it right. I want it to be a full-on horror movie. Like, come on. Anyways, Ryan Reynolds teases Deadpool 4, hence there's still a few deep cuts to adapt from the comics. Now, of course, the funny thing is, Ryan Reynolds said after Deadpool and Wolverine that this would be the last Deadpool movie, and then it made money. And before then, Hugh Jackman was like, oh yeah, we're going to pass the torch to someone else to play Wolverine. And then Deadpool and Wolverine made a lot of money, and now Hugh Jackman's like, I'm not done with the character. And I do think that's funny. I find that funny. Like, they're like, I'm not done with this character. I still want to play this character. I still very much want to make both Wolverine and Hugh Jackman back. I very much want to make movies with these characters and stuff. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a fun movie. I think it was a fun little movie. I don't think it was a masterpiece of Marvel's cinema, or movie cinema in general. But it was fun. It was great. It was goofy. It was dumb. And that's all it needed to be. That's all it needed to be. I very much want a Deadpool 4. I think a Deadpool 4 would be fun. Would be great. And, there's so many ideas from... They never actually have fully adapted a scene in the comics. They never adapted a story of the comic. So there's a chance that they could have finally adapt some like storylines or scenes from the comics and stuff. And I very much want a Deadpool 4. I think it would be great. I think it would be fun. Notable for pinning Deadpool Dracula's Gauntlet, Deadpool versus Shield, Deadpool Does Shakespeare and Wedding of Deadpool, among many others. He's also a contributor to the script of an Insomniac video game, Sunset Overdrive, prior to that studio's work on Spider-Man. Oh, the guy who's writing the script for this Deadpool movie? Gary? Oh. Well, that's cool. I love Sunset Overdrive. I would love a sequel to Sunset Overdrive. He followed up his work on Deadpool, The Circle Chase. So he's written Deadpool stories. Okay. No, this guy's written Deadpool stories. Okay, yeah. Okay, so they're getting actual Deadpool comic writers on this. Okay. Hell yeah. That's gonna be cool. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be great. And they could finally actually adapt Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. That would be a great fucking adaptation. I love Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. That's one of my favorite Deadpool comics. Oh my gosh, that's great. Anyways, let's move on from Marvel. And let's do our next story, which is the Wolverine 3. The Wolverine 3. Sorry, I said let's move on from Marvel, and I'm still talking about Marvel. I got Marvel in the mind. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Songs of the Past reveal date confirmed. So they doesn't say that the release date. They're saying the reveal date, as in Gamescom 2026 opening night live will have a reveal of Witcher 3 Songs of the Past, and they've already confirmed this. They confirmed this when the DLC was announced, like when it was revealed. When it was announced, like this has been talked about for a while, and I am excited. I'm very much excited for this. It's probably going to tie very heavily into the remake. I think it's going to very heavily tie into the original game, and it's going to tie heavily into the remake. And there's a chance they might actually announce at Gamescom either the remake, the Witcher remake, or Witcher 4. And either way, I would be very excited if they did either. I'm very excited for both games, and I think it is being co-developed. That this DLC is being co-developed with Fool's Theory. That's what it says in this IGN article. Fool's Theory. Now, this is a team comprising industry veterans who worked on The Witcher 3. So this Fool's Theory, they also helped co-develop the other Witcher expansions, and they are rumored to be the ones fully developing the Witcher remake. So it's not CG Projekt Red that is developing the remake. It is Fool's Theory's co-developers who helped CD Projekt Red with the other expansions and stuff. Again, CD Projekt Red still developed the expansions. They were just helped with another team so that CD Projekt Red could, work on other games and stuff. So it wasn't just fully CD Projekt Red. So now this expansion is going to be helped with Fool's Theories, and they are supposedly the ones that are making their Witcher remake. Again, not confirmed, because all that really confirmed for the Witcher's remake was that it's happening. They didn't say who's developing it. They just said it's happening. People just assumed it was CG Projekt Red, but it's very much looking to be Fool's Theory. That's the name of the studio, and I'm very much excited for it. I definitely will be live reacting to Gamescom opening night live. Hopefully, I can live react with my friends. But I definitely will be on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. That is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. So do check that out. I'm very much excited to react to Gamescom 2026. And we're going to move on to the next story, which is District 9 director Neil Blomkamp faces backlash over AI-generated zombie short film. Blomkamp, best known for works like District 9, Champy, and Elysium, published the 13-minute long short film to YouTube on July 19th. Responses have been brutal. It's called Nightborn. It's the full. It is the first full test AI film I have made. It is made using C-Dance. He posted on Twitter. I've been experimenting with AI for a couple of years. It's now at this point where I want to tackle a full feature in this format. This is the 13-minute test shot. You know, I have liked Neil Blomkamp. I like his movies. I thought they were really good movies, and I loved when he dabbled in Unreal Engine when he made that entire short film collection all in Unreal Engine, and he was just like, oh, praising Unreal Engine, how it's gonna be the future for filmmaking and stuff. And I was fully with him on that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is true, because you could do so much with the Unreal Engine, and he very much proved what you can do with it. And apparently this Nightborn short film is set in the world of Peter Walt's 2014 novel Echo Parazakian, I don't know, which features all men in science fiction fare like alien life, vampires, and of course zombies! Commenters across social media are blasting the test film, poking fun at the dialogue. We couldn't help but laugh at, oh shit, well, I think she's gonna make it, so that's good. Is that really a line in the fucking short film? No, thank you. What a crazy fall from grace for such a beloved filmmaker, one wrote on YouTube. Well, Neil, thank you for showing us that even in the hands of an established director, AI slop looks indistinguishable from everyone else's AI slop, another said on X's Twitter. Oh, we just won District 10, another said. Ah, that's funny. The way I've been experimenting with AI for a couple of years, and now at the point where I want to tackle a full feature in this format, he explained. Barley Studios will be my new AI studio for creating my own films, the way Oat Studios was for traditional film and VFX. This is the latest AI movie making waves online after Odysseus, The Fall, an AI generated film retelling the Odyssey sparked similar reactions from audience, especially in comparisons to Nolan's landed movie adaptation of the same source that blew the box office on opening weekend. It blew the top off the box office. So some guy thought he could do the Odyssey better by making a shitty AI movie. Okay, that makes sense. Here's my thoughts with this whole near Blomkamp AI bullshit. You can already tell what my thoughts are. So far, I haven't really been hiding what my thoughts are. I think this is stupid. I very much respected, Blomkamp when it came with the Unreal Engine. I very much respected his filmmaking, his love for science fiction. I very much was on board with him making a new Alien movie because at one point he wanted to make an Alien sequel. I was on board with him rebooting RoboCop. His idea for RoboCop sounded awesome. The same with his idea for Aliens. I was on board with him. I am not on board with him for doing generated AI bullshit. Holy shit. This is not filmmaking. This is not making a movie. This is not showing your passion for the industry. This is just you being lazy and being like, I don't really want to film today. Let's just put it on ChatGPT. You're not putting any passion in it, Neil. You're not putting any passion in it. You're just fucking asking a computer to make this movie for you. And it's dog shit. It's dog shit. Now, I have not watched the short film, and I'm not going to watch the short film. I don't give a shit. I just don't care, and I am not happy with AI generated bullshit, and all that. I just don't care. And I think this is sad. This is awful. I very much respected Neil, and that respect has kind of went down. And go back to making animated Unreal Engine movies that doesn't use the AI side of Unreal Engine. Like, just this is stupid, and I hate it, and I absolutely am not a fan of this, and I will not be supporting this. I will not be supporting his full-length movie in AI, and I will not be supporting his actual thing. And you know what? Let's just look for it. Let's see how this looks. Let's look. Oh my god, this looks so awful. Oh my god. I'm just looking at the visuals. Let's listen to the audio. Listen. Now, of course, you don't hear that, so I'm just going to turn it up for you, and I'm going to play.
No, just files. The first batch looked like nothing. Surgical logs, procurement, casualty paperwork, dry stuff. Then one name on 2 documents. Killed in action in March, on an operating table in August. Same man. I thought, clear.
Okay, let's skip ahead.
Wounded.
Hollis, you still owe me $40 from the fight.
My gosh, this feels so stilted. That's what the problem with AI. It feels so stilted in its camera movements and its just character movements. Like they don't feel like humans moving or talking or walking. They look like stilted puppets. My gosh, look how awful this looks. This does not look good. This looks like AI slop. And you can still tell it's AI because of the movements of the character. Yes, AI has gotten better than the last few years, but it's still not great, and I just do not care. I just do not care for this. This does not look good at all. Oh my gosh. And if I really wanted to, I probably would sit here and fully see the problems and analyze and what's really the problem here. But I really don't want to. And you know what? Just for fun, I want to see what that Odyssey movie looked like. What was it called? Did I spell it wrong? I think I did. Here it is. It's not even a full-length thing. It's just kind of like, unless a trailer. I guess they haven't released the full thing yet. So they got to be the trailer for it. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. No. No, you know what? They're actually stealing shots from. Wait a sec. I just know. They're actually stealing shots. The AI is stealing shots from Christopher Nolan's movie. Oh my gosh, this is awful. This is bad. This is just stolen art. I don't know what Neil sees in this. And let's move on. This is an old story that has been already resolved, but A24 has put copyright strikes on a bunch of Backrooms fan art and stuff before the movie ever, this is stuff that was released before they ever made a movie. This is stuff that was from years back that they were copywriting. This was stuff from just random, I even think they were copywriting some video games and shit. And Kane has responded saying that we've been made aware about this and we are trying to look into it. I assure you this is not supposed to be happening. And A24 has come out and says, We apologize. There was an error. We did not claim ownership to this. But for a while there, people were worried, like, oh my gosh, A24 is trying to copyright strike something that shouldn't be should be copyrighted, because at this point it's public domain. There's no way you can properly copyright this now, because it has been made into so many video games, comics, movies, to the point to where there should be legal hell, and no legal system would want to deal with that. There's no way that a studio could truly copyright it. And A24 trying to find a way to do that was very scummy of them. That's what it first looked like. People were like, this is very scummy, this is very bullshit. And I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, fuck, this is not, they should not be doing this. This is bullshit. But they've come out and said, they've already come out and said, like, hey, this was a mistake. We knew nothing about this. We're trying to look into the problem. We swear we're not trying to claim ownership to the wallpaper. We promise you. Because that was the problem. The Reddit post said from a user claiming their wallpaper pattern had been pulled from Redbubble over copyright infringement, because it was very much trying to be Backrooms wallpaper. And I'm very glad that they have already resolved this, because this would have been a bad look. Very bad look. And I just wanted to briefly talk about it and be like, yeah, that was kind of, seems like bullshit, but it's been resolved, and I'm happy it's been resolved. Call of Duty is going to be making a movie. Call of Duty movie to take place in the Modern Warfare universe. Director confirms. That is right. We're getting a movie. We're getting a new movie. Oh my gosh, Call of Duty movie. And the director's confirmed it. It's going to take place in the Modern Warfare universe, and all I gotta say is why. Why? I mean, at least if you took place in the future universe, you could say it is very much connected with Call of Duty. How is this going to be different than any other war movie? I'm going to say. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I think the best Call of Duty movie they could ever really make is a zombies movie. Imagine a zombies movie that used the logic of the zombies video games, like, world and shit. Like, oh, that would be fucking crazy. That would be fun. That would just be fun and campy. And I would love that. I would very much love that. I think a Call of Duty movie could work because it's a war movie. War movies are interesting to watch, but that's the problem. It's a war movie. How is this gonna be different than any other war movies? What's gonna make this stand apart to where you can say, yes, this is a Call of Duty movie? Because I don't think it's gonna be based on any video game plots. It's gonna be in the Modern Warfare universe, but I think what they're saying by that is this is gonna be a side story in Modern Warfare. Maybe we'll see the characters from Modern Warfare, but honestly, how is this, like, when you look at, like, The Last of Us? Let's look at the Last of Us movie adaptation, TV show adaptation. You could still say, like, oh yeah, that's The Last of Us because of the monsters and the story specifically. Now let's look at the Fallout. Fallout's actually a better example because I think it's going to do the exact same thing Call of Duty is going to do, which is Fallout. It has iconic, like, landmarks and how the world looks. It's desert and it's a wasteland. And you got the vaults, which are very, very big characteristics from Fallout. And you also got specific, like, groups of organizations, like the Brotherhood and all that. And then you got, like, specific monsters that are only in Fallout, like Deathclaw or ghouls or all those other types of monsters that you only see in the Fallout universe. And you could very much easily tell a story in the Fallout universe, even a side story, and it could still very much, you can just watch that show and be like, yes, this feels like Fallout. How is this going to feel like Call of Duty? Like I'm just, like, you're going to watch this and be like, you would have to actually adapt a story of Call of Duty, like Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare or something, for it to really feel like a Call of Duty adaptation. If you're going to do what you did with Fallout, then it's just going to feel like a generic war story that you just slapped Call of Duty's name on. And I don't know. I really don't care about a Call of Duty movie. I don't care about Call of Duty in general. they're trying to make you pay like for Black Ops 1 and 2. They released Black Ops 1 and 2. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast yet. They released Black Ops 1 and 2 on PS4, 5, and they made you pay. They're having you pay $30 for just the base game and $20 for the DLC, the season packs. And the game is an old game. It came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3. And Activision is making you pay for, not for a remaster, for a port, making you pay $30 for the base game. And if you want the DLCs, the season pass, you're gonna have to pay an extra $20. That's kind of bullshit to me. And not just for $30 for Black Ops 1 and 2. No, $30 for both games separately. For both games separately, not in one bundle, both games. And you have to buy both games DLC separately for $20. That's bullshit to me. So, I don't know. I really don't care about Call of Duty. Honestly, the only Call of Duty movie I would be excited for is a zombies movie. Like, holy shit. That'll be fun. Stardew Valley arrives in Magic the Gathering with a super drop of the Midnight Jellies. So what is going on? July 17th, they announced at MagicCon that they are doing a crossover with Stardew Valley, and the art looks fantastic. You know what? I might actually buy a pack of this because I do love Stardew Valley, and this would be really fun. I don't really play Magic the Gathering. I have no Magic the Gathering cards. But this looks good. I love the art. It's using screenshots from the game. It's using its new park. Not screenshots. It's using new pixel art. I think it's from the artist, the developer who did the artist of the original game. And the art looks fantastic. It's very in that pixel art style, Stardew Valley style, and it looks fantastic. And you know what? I would very much buy this. I would buy this because it looks nice. It looks great. I don't play Magic the Gathering, but this is like a fun little thing to get a pack of. The collab arrives on July 27th at 9 a.m. PT on the Secret Lair website. So you better hurry and get them before the scalpers do. And they said the artwork is from the game's creator himself, Concerned Ape. So, hell yeah. So that's what I was thinking. It was from the game developer. I was like, I think he did the art itself. Here's the name. So I'm very excited. That looks really cool. I feel like a lot of these stories I'm just doing is kind of like just doing quick rounds of them. And that makes sense. Anyways, I want to talk about this because I actually love the second X-Files movie. And they're going to release a rated R, because the original movie titled the original movie is called X-Files, The X-Files I Want to Believe, and it was released in 2008, and it was a reboot sequel movie, because they released a movie in the early 2000s that was a line that very much tied within the storyline of the TV show at that time. And then the second movie came out in 2008 when the show was like already canceled and over, or at least was done with. And it very much concluded the television show. It concluded the story of the television show and all that. And it was a good movie. I really loved The X-Files, I Want to Believe. And they're very much going to release they're going to release an R-rated, because the original 2008 movie was a PG-13. This one's going to be R-rated, and it's what the director wanted. Chris Carter, he wanted it to be like this, and I'm excited because I love X-Files. I grew up with X-Files, and I would love an X-rated. I would love an R-rated version of X-Files. This is supposed to be. There's the director of there's going to be a reboot of X-Files, like a full-on reboot. It's not going to be a continuation sequel thing, but it's going to be a full-on reboot, and I think they're trying to kind of advertise that alongside this. and I'm fully excited. Yes, is meanwhile, the X-Files also has a reboot in the works, helmed by Sinners director Ryan, and it's going to be a full-on reboot. Mulder actor has confirmed talks about the reboot, although it seems to be seen if he or Gillian will make an appearance. Yeah, I don't think it's a sequel. I think it's a full-on reboot. As far as I know, it is just a full-on reboot and not a continuation of the story, which I'm fine with. I think the show has they have done the reboot treatment for that show, soft reboot, many times, and I think it's now time to just kind of finish this. They already finished that storyline, and I think if they want to continue the series, it's fine. Doing a reboot's fine at this point, because I think a lot of people have had their fill of the X-Files story, and as a sense of we're fine with how it ended. And actually, I was fine with how it ended in 2008 with the movie. I was like, this is a good ending. And then I brought it back. I have not actually watched that reboot show, but what I've heard is pretty good. So, as far as I know, they actually concluded the show, but I don't know. I don't know how the show ends. I could be very wrong. But I'm excited for this R-rated cut of the second X-Files movie. So that's cool. Anyways, id Software's creative director claims the Doom developer was nerfed into the ground by the Xbox layoffs are untrue. So basically he's saying like they're fine, they're doing good. I don't know how much of a statement that could really be. Hugo Martin has commented on the Xbox layoffs that have affected the legendary Doom developer, insisting it's still alive and kicking. So basically he's saying like it's fine, it's good, we're just doing a reset, and we're all good. I don't fully believe you, because there's even talks that id Software is going to become a support studio, which I do not like. They should not be a fucking support studio, and they should continue to make awesome games like Doom, or they were working on they were going to apparently make a John Wick inspired game called Fury. It's not a John Wick game, it's a John Wick inspired game where you use gun fu. Oh, that would have been awesome. Maybe the Doom developers. I hope they don't become a support studio, and I hope what Hugo Martin is saying is true. I hope they're still working on something fucking awesome, or to make a new IP or whatever. I hope their Fury game is still in development. They were at one point going to pitch a Perfect Dark reboot. That pitch kind of went nowhere because of the layoffs. That sucks. That a Perfect Dark reboot. There's been 2 times the Perfect Dark reboots have been in circulation, and they've both been kind of just cut, canceled, or just not fully pitched or developed, and it sucks. And I hope id Software does not become a support studio. That would be awful, and I would hate it. I would hate it. Okay, so we're only gonna have one thing open for this, but yeah, but I'm going to talk about 2 news stories that happened before this, but I'm going to talk about this. Actually, I should talk about Obsidian not announced. It's been kind of confirmed, but not really, that Obsidian is working on. They canceled their game. Avowed 2. That's their sequel to Avowed got canceled, and they canceled the DLC for the Outer Worlds 2, I believe. And Xbox made them start development on a Fallout sequel. Now, a lot of people were like, "Does this mean we're finally going to get a Fallout New Vegas remaster?" People were like, "Oh, their Obsidian's new Fallout game is a remaster to or remake to Fallout New Vegas," and I always thought that was confusing because that Fallout New Vegas remaster has been around for years. It's been around for a good year now. It started. It was around. It was big. Like people thought it was going to be announced when season 2 of Fallout dropped. People were like, oh, they're going to announce Fallout New Vegas remaster and Fallout 3 remaster. So I'm like, why are people thinking that Obsidian are now officially starting the Fallout Fallout New Vegas remaster? That's been rumored for a while now, and guess what? They confirmed it. Bethesda posted like a couple days ago, confirming that they're going to continue. Like I think, let's see, blah, blah, blah. We're continue expanding. Yeah, they're going to add some new DLCs and stuff. They're basically, Xbox got tired of their shit. Like, okay, we don't like that you just sit there in silence and never tell people what's going on. So we're gonna fucking force you to tell people what's going on. And now they're telling people because they updated the creation engine, and now it is called the Creation Engine 3, and their teams are now starting development on Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5. They are now developing their game because Xbox seems to be forcing them to do that. They're like, okay, no, you're going to start development on this. And they confirm that the Wasteland continues to expand as our team, once again, with our longtime friends at Obsidian Entertainment. I love that in this here, they still manage to fucking lie their asses. Because they says, with our longtime friends at Obsidian Entertainment. Obsidian has many times confirmed Bethesda fucking hated Fallout New Vegas. They have told them many times how they fucking hated Fallout New Vegas. And they have very much never wanted to work with Obsidian ever again, or any other studio to work on any of their games. And then Xbox was like, no, we want a new fucking game now, and we're going to force you to release it. Apparently there's going to be an expansion for Fallout 76, which is a prequel story to Fallout 3. Well, that's interesting. But the biggest thing that they announced is they officially confirmed that Bethesda themselves are developing Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and Obsidian is just working on a brand new Fallout project. And they confirmed it in this thing, even though it was talked about like a couple days ago before this whole thing, like a week before. And it was just like Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. He heard from people who worked at Obsidian that Xbox had kind of forced them to start working on a new Fallout game, and Bethesda is now confirming it. And they says, we're happy to confirm they're working on a new Fallout project. And apparently, what I've been hearing is they're not happy about Xbox forcing them to do this. But yeah, no, this finally confirms that Fallout 3 in New Vegas. I've seen so many people going like, oh my gosh, Fallout New Vegas' remaster is not being worked on Obsidian? So what is their new game they're working on? I'm like, it's a new game. We've been hearing for years that Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas remasters have been in development. And they have officially confirmed that they've been working on it. So, yeah, I don't know why everyone's like surprised by this. I don't know. And I'm not talking about like random people. I'm talking about people like Luke Stevens. Luke Stevens, who talked about Fallout New Vegas remaster. He has talked about Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas remaster multiple times. And he made a video going, oh my gosh, so Bethesda's the one working on the Fallout New Vegas? I wonder what Obsidian's working on. Like, come on, dude. You've been talking about the Fallout New Vegas remaster for a good few years now. Or at least a good year now. So I'm so confused how YouTubers think. I truly am. Yeah, I am I excited for this? Not really. I say not really because of the whole layoffs and shit. That's really it. Like, I say it because of the layoffs. Anyways, yeah, at this moment in time, I'm just not excited. And also, the Creation Engine 3, like any other people, if they say, oh, we've been using this engine for years, and we are now going to update it to be brand new and all that, I would be like, oh, that's cool. Bethesda, it's going to have the same problems. It's going to have the same glitches and errors. It's going to have the same, like, outdated design and code. But it's going to look new. And that's it. That's all it's going to do. It's going to look newer. But Bethesda does not actually update engines. They just update the graphics. They don't actually update the engine themselves. They just go, well, we're going to update the graphics a little bit, but that's it. And it's going to have the same problems that Morrowind had back. Because this engine is the engine that they used on Morrowind. It was called like the Embryo engine or something, and then they changed it to the Creation engine after Fallout 5. Oh no, Fallout 4. Oh, during Fallout 4, I think that's when they called it the Creation engine. I'm not really sure, but it's still the same tech from the Embryo engine, except now it looks better. And any other engine, like the I would say like the Call of Duty engines, is the same engine from like Call of Duty 3, I believe, or 4. But what they do is they actually improve the tech. That's the one positive I'll say about their engines, is they actually improve by updating everything besides the graphics. Well, Bethesda's just like, is the graphics look good? Yeah, but you know the code and everything about everything else is not great. That's fine, as long as the graphics look good, looks new. That's all we care about. So I don't give a shit about the Creation Engine 3. I kind of wish they would stop using it. You know, fuck it, use Unreal. I feel like that would, if you want to be lazy, just use Unreal. Holy shit, do what everyone else is doing. And I say lazy, you do it. I'm just saying the sense of you don't have to no longer create your new engine. And at the end of the day, they're not really creating a new engine. They're just making it look better. So if they just wanted that, Unreal Engine's right there for you. Like, come on, guys. This is just Bethesda does a lot of shit that I just think is awful, and I don't like it. Let's move on. Let's actually review some movies now. That's why we're gonna do some movie reviews. We're gonna do 2 movie reviews. The first one is the Odyssey. So, I went to see the Odyssey literally the day it released, I believe. In my theaters, at least. And, it's Universal. It's Universal. I forgot. Give me a minute. It's Universal. It's Universal. I'm probably going to have to just get a screenshot, and that's it. So, I'm just going to pick a great screenshot and call it a day. This Universal, or at least like some screenshot. Yeah, it's a good screenshot. No clip, no motion, no nothing. And I'm just gonna kind of put my face right here. So yeah. The Odyssey. I watched this movie when it first came out, and it was so good. Oh, it was so good. It was a fun action adventure movie. I absolutely loved my time with it. It was very beautiful. It was so like well shot. Like I thought it was absolutely incredible just to watch. I know a lot of people have kind of like given up on Christopher Nolan's like present, future, past like thing where he cuts to the present, and he cuts to the past, and he cuts to the present again, the past, present, past, present. I say it worked very well in this movie. I very much love that structure because I think it very much told a more unique story, even though it's like it's Christopher Nolan's thing, or at this point, it's very much like just his normal Christopher Nolan isms. But I do think this is a fantastic, like, beautiful movie. A lot of shots were very absolutely beautiful, and there's a lot of moments where people are like going like Christopher Nolan needs to make a new horror movie. Needs to make a horror movie, and I fully agree because there was a lot of shots in this movie that were very creepy and very like terrifying. And I think Christopher Nolan could absolutely do a horror movie. I don't think he's ever going to because I very much think he is focused on one genre. I think he very much wants to do big budget action movies, big budget epics. I don't think he wants to do horror movies. He can do it, and he very much loves the horror genre. I don't think there's a reason why he says in interviews he's never found a story to adapt or to make that's horror, and that is because I don't think he has an interest to do horror. I think he just says that to make people go, "Well, there's a possibility," but I just don't think he cares enough to fully do horror. He likes horror to the point to where he will make horror scenes. He will very much have it in his movies to be very horror, focus on scenes. But he wouldn't. But I wouldn't think him as a director would make a horror movie because I just don't think that's what the type of movies he wants to make. I think he wants to just make like epic movies like the Odyssey or like Oppenheimer or stuff like that. I don't think he wants to just make a horror movie. And honestly, with his style of like filmmaking and stuff, I think he could do a horror movie, but I really don't like. I don't know. I think horror should stay in its lower budget because horror is still a niche genre. A lot of people don't realize this. Horror is still a niche genre. I know there are movies that are making lots of money. All Obsession made a lot of money, and people, the Backrooms made a lot of money. People love horror, but it's still very niche genre. Like if Christopher Nolan directed a 600 million horror movie, it would not make back that 600 million at all. It would be seen as some form of failure, even with his name on it. But this movie, but the movie itself is fantastic. Like there was a lot of shots in this movie that I just was like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. This is just breathtaking. And there was a lot of moments where I was on the edge of my seat in suspense. I was like, oh my gosh. And I've read the Odyssey, but it's been so long. I've read it when I was like in middle school. I love the Odyssey. It was like a great Greek story. But this is a fantastic like adaptation of this movie, and I do think a lot of the actors do a fantastic job. Matt Damon does a great job at being lost and trying to find his way home. This is like the fucking fourth movie he's been lost and trying to find his way home. I saw a thing on Facebook where someone posted something about like I gotta find it. It's like saying like Hollywood really spent like this amount of money to bring Matt Damon home. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I found it. It's called Hollywood has spent nearly 600 million trying to bring Matt Damon home. The Odyssey, which cost 250 million, The Martian, which cost 100 million, Interstellar, which cost 165 million, and Save It Private Ryan, which cost 70 million. And this is the image. It's just kind of bright. But I thought that was funny. Because Matt Damon really has played like a lot of movies where he's like trying to find his way back home in some form of way. So I thought that was funny. But Tom Holland, I loved him in this movie, and I do like. I think he's a good actor. I very much think he's a good actor. But I always saw him as like like an actor that would just do like Hollywood type action movies like Spider-Man. I never really saw him as more of this style of actor, and he has kind of proved me wrong because this very much was, I would say, kind of Shakespearean in a way, but not fully. He's not fully a Shakespearean actor, but I would very much say, like, yeah, no, I could see, he really was fantastic in this movie. Was so great, and I loved Robin Pattinson in this movie. He played just a fucking irredeemable asshole, and I loved it. I loved his character. I loved his character so much. Not in the sense that I loved his character. I hated his character. But I love that he was able to make me fucking hate him so much. And that's what I'm trying to say. So I think his character was fucking fantastic as this asshole. I would say villain-like character. I think this was a really just. I think mostly what I love about this movie is the visuals. I think the visuals absolutely sell this movie, because this movie is very much a visual movie. There's a lot of visuals. There's a lot of dialogue, and the dialogue is well written. It's absolutely like very. It's on at points on level with Shakespeare style writing, Shakespearean writing, I would say. But then there's moments where they're just like, "Fuck you," and it'd be like, "Okay, there we go." It's that kind of took me out, but I still loved it. I still very much. I love the characters. I love everyone's parts. I love a lot of scenes in the movie. I very much at one point in the movie, I will say, there's one part of the movie where it was like the third act, the final act, and there was one part where I was like, they could easily. I'm not going to spoil anything. There was one point where I could say they could easily, just end it here. And at one point I was like, okay, they're gonna end it here soon. They're gonna end it here soon. They're gonna end it here soon. They're gonna end it here. And then the scene went on for like 30 more minutes. And the entire time I was like, you could have just ended it right now. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, end it. End it. Why are we taking so long to do this? And I thought for the longest time, I was like, this is so drawn out. This could have been over by now. And then the final thing happened. The big, I would say, reveal. And I was like, okay, never mind. That made up for that long wait. It made up for it, and it was absolutely incredible. And that's like the one negative I could really say. I mean, there may be some other negatives, but the visual effects in this movie, there's a lot of practical effects. Even like they've confirmed the giant is a practical effect. It wasn't CGI. It was just a guy with makeup and shit. So it was very much in line with like classic movies, like Greek adventures like this from like the I would say 60s and stuff. Yeah. And this movie was so good. It was very much like a Christopher Nolan epic. I wouldn't say it was like a homage to like those 60s style Odyssey, like Clash of the Titans like movies. I'd say very much this is a Christopher Nolan epic version of the Odyssey. And I would say I very much loved it, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I would highly recommend it. Now, I did not see this in the IMAX, but my friend said that it was fantastic in the IMAX. Like it was like amazing. And he would recommend people go see it in IMAX. And I very much would love to see it in IMAX. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I just don't know if I can get to an IMAX theater, because I don't have one near me. It's a good drive, and I would have to get someone to drive me there. But I don't think I'm going to be able to go see it in IMAX, but I would love to. Very much, because this is a great movie. This is a great movie. So yeah, I recommend the Odyssey. I truly do. Okay. Now, the reason why I saved this one for last is because my friend who does listen to this podcast is going to see this movie. He hasn't seen it yet, but he wants to see it. And I'm going to give him now time to kind of just close it off. I'm now going to do a review for Evil Dead Burn. But if you've seen this movie, watch it. Basically, all I can say is I recommend it. It's a great movie. Now let's get my thoughts. The review for Evil Dead Burn starts now. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead series. I love Evil Dead. Evil Dead is one of my favorite series. Sam Raimi is one of my favorite directors, my inspiration, honestly. And I love the series as a whole. I think it's like a fantastic series. I don't think there's ever been an Evil Dead movie or TV show that has really made me go, "This is shit. This is awful." I love the 2013 reboot movie. I love the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show. I love Evil Dead Rise, and I love Evil Dead Burn, and of course, I love the original Evil Dead trilogy. And so I very much love the Evil Dead series. And you know what? Even though The Mummy isn't officially classified as an Evil Dead movie, because Sam Raimi hasn't confirmed it, The Mummy, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, is a great Evil Dead movie. So I went in going in this movie excited and hoping for the best, and what I got out was the best. I can say very much watching this movie, I got the entire time I was like, oh my gosh, you know what this movie feels like? This movie feels like I was given a lot of video game vibes, specifically Resident Evil 7. There were moments in this movie where I was like, oh my gosh, this is like Resident Evil 7. And it is, oh my gosh, absolutely. Like if someone would to adapt specifically the story of Resident Evil 7, this is not fully how I would imagine it, but this would be somewhat like how I would imagine an adaptation of a Resident Evil 7 movie, at least with the family element of that. And this was really good, and I love this movie. It's brutal. It's just as brutal as the other ones. I would say this is like a little bit more brutal. There's a lot of moments that made me go, "Oh my god, because it was fucking awesome." I love the movie, and I love the effects. I love everything about this. The movie is about like this. I would believe she's like, yeah, she's French. She's a French woman, and she was kind of married into this family, and her husband died, and it's the day of his funeral, and she was invited by his family to spend like the weekend with them, to remember her husband, their son, their brother. One of them is a brother of the husband character. And it's very revealed, because she's French, the family hates her. They hate that she's French. They hate that she's not an American. They hate that the mother, the parent, specifically the parents, hate that their son married this French woman. And their other son, the brother character, he likes her. He very much likes her and stuff. But it's revealed that he's trying to write a new book. And he found his grandfather's research of the Necronomicon. And it turns out that because of this grandfather's research, he has kind of just he's been assessed trying to stop the Necronomicon, stop these Deadites and shit. He started a whole organization to stop all this shit. And it turns out that the Deadites are trying to hunt down his family for specific reasons. I'm not going to get into the reasons, because that'd be very spoilerish. The Deadites were the reason why the son character, the husband character, died. And it's very fascinating to see how this movie plays out and how everything goes. And I love this. I love this movie. It really is absolutely a fantastic Evil Dead movie, and I love the family elements, and I love the theme of the movie. And it's a theme I would not very much. I would never think an Evil Dead movie would. I would never really think an Evil Dead movie would do themes of something. And both Evil Dead Rise and Evil Dead, I would say, Burn very much plays into the theme of the movie very well. Very much more well than I would say the theme of Rise, honestly. But Evil Dead Burn delves into like the psychological theme of the movie's like what's the theme? I would like to say what it is, and I will say what it is after a bit, very close to the end. But I do love these characters, like how they were portrayed, how they are. Like, there's a lot of characters like they're assholes. I hate them, and the actors did such a great job portraying that. And there's the main character Alice. Oh, she is awesome. Like, and there's a lot of elements that very much reminded me of a video game, a horror video game. And this is like a great video game adaptation, even though it's not based on any video game. This gave me video game vibes throughout the entire thing. Even the last few the last part of the movie made me think final boss final boss arena, and I love this movie. It was really really done. So what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna kind of end it here, but I am going to explain what I mean. What is the theme of Evil Dead? But if you don't want to hear like the little spoiler, I would say, thank you for listening to this podcast. Give this video a like, subscribe to my channels, and tell me everything. Give me your thoughts about everything in the comments down below. And I said subscribe, so subscribe because I do podcasts like this. I also upload full game playthroughs and stuff, so definitely check that out. And go to my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. That is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. I stream live over there. I play a bunch of different video games and stuff, so definitely check out my live stream over there. Link in the description. Twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. Twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. I'll be streaming. I stream a lot. I think by the time you watch this video, I'll be streaming. I do believe. I'm probably streaming right now when this video goes up, so definitely watch. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you want to hear the little bit spoiler discussion, stay now or go. If you don't want to hear it, go. If you want to hear it, stay. So Evil Dead Burns theme is about abuse. It's a movie about abuse, and it very much plays very well into the idea of abuse. So basically, Alice, the main character, the French girl, she was married to this guy who ran a kind of club, a little like dance club, whatever, a nightclub. And the guy was an abusive piece of shit. Like, he was extremely abusive to Alice. And not just that he was abusive, his family was abusive. Like, very much. Her parents absolutely, not her parents, his parents absolutely hated her and even abused her and like mentally and shit. While her husband abused her physically. And very much hurt her away. The parents very much was like he talked about how he wanted to be a father and her to have kids, but I don't think she could be able to, because there's a part of the movie where she shows a scar on her stomach caused by her husband, because he purposely threw hot grease on her. And the main Deadite possessed her husband, and he's the final thing she has to fight. So the whole movie is showing how she has to overcome her abuse, and it's fantastic. And I never really thought Evil Dead would tackle a story of abuse, and I think it's what makes this movie a lot more, 10 times, like it really like adds up to the movie, because it very much deals with the topic of abuse and how to and to overcome the abuse. And that's what I love about this movie. It kind of reminded me how Invisible Man, the Invisible Man movie, was very much about overcoming your abuser, and this was about overcoming your abuser, and also abuse in general, the guilt of not the guilt, but the trauma of abuse and shit. And I love this movie. I love Evil Dead, I will say that, but I think this movie very much does an absolute incredible job, and it's very much tying in to connect. At the end of the movie, they kind of connect Evil Dead Burn and Evil Dead Rise, and I think they're gearing up to maybe have all three of the female survivors from Evil Dead 2013, Evil Dead Rise, and Evil Dead Burn come together and stop the Deadites. And I don't know, because the next Evil Dead movie is a prequel, so they're probably going to set up something. But I do believe that they're setting up for maybe like the fourth new movie, or fifth, I guess, the fifth movie in this reboot saga will very much be with all the characters coming together to stop the Deadites and all that. And honestly, it's going to be absolute cinema right there, and I am very much so excited for that. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for the prequel, Evil Dead Wrath, which it takes place before the events of Evil Dead 1. And Bruce Campbell confirmed that he is battling cancer. And I know he has said many times how he's done with the Ash character, but Bruce at this time, he always finds a way to come back to the Ash character. And he has talked about how he would like to do an animated movie with Ash. And you know what would be a great thing? If the final Evil Dead movie, or at least the final movie with these characters and stuff, they all come together to bring back Ash, and they fight the Deadites. That would be my dream movie, with all the protagonists, the survivors of each Evil Dead movie coming back to help Ash fight the Deadites. That would be awesome. That's my dream movie, right there. And I think they could find a way to even tie it in to the TV show. I know how the TV show ends, season 3. I still believe they could very much find a way to tie it in and have them come back to the present time, or they can find themselves in that time period. The ending of Ash vs. Evil Dead season 3. I'm just gonna say it. It's the ending of it's the alternate ending of Army of Darkness, where Ash overslept and woke up in the apocalypse. Ash vs. Evil Dead season 3 had a cliffhanger ending where Ash woke up in the apocalypse, and season 4 was supposed to take place after that. But the show got canceled, and they were not able to do that, which it sucks. It very much sucks. But I think they could very much find a way to tie that in, and I would love it. I don't think they're going to, because at the moment Bruce is battling with cancer, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to beat that shit. I hope he does. And at the moment in time, he has kind of stopped from acting completely. He released his movie, which was like a comedic movie about growing old. It was like his last movie he ever did before going into treatment for the cancer. And I very much I would like for him to return to acting again, maybe through voice acting. Again, he has talked about how he would return to the Ash character for an animated movie. So I would absolutely be fine with an animated Evil Dead movie, 100%. So I am. He's still working on the show and stuff. He's producing the movies and stuff. He's just not acting at the moment, and he's focusing a lot of his time on the treatment. So I hope he can battle it. And I love Evil Dead Burn. And that does it for my podcast. I do have a playlist. I didn't mention that, but I do have a playlist with all the episodes, which will be in the link in the description. And I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah. Again, like the video, comment down below. That really helps me out. Tell me what you think about the topics in the video. If you've seen the movies, talk about what your thoughts of the movies. And subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. This podcast will be a recurring thing. So very much come back for the podcast if you want. Just subscribe for the podcast. But I also upload Let's Plays that I did live on Twitch, which again, follow me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. That is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. And that's in the link in the description. Give me a follow. It really helps me out because I do a lot of live streams. I stream a bunch of different video games, not just horror, but that will be the main thing. I play whatever kind of games, from AAA, AA, to indie, or to retro. I play whatever I feel like playing. If it's a third-person, first-person, narrative action game, or just an arcadey game, or just a point-and-click adventure game, I don't care. A 2D, 3D platformer, I don't care. I'll play whatever I feel like playing. Over there, to just give me a follow. I'll link in the description. That is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. Let me say it one last time. That is twitch.tv/Jarvey Rocks. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye.